Hi, my name is Jinzhou. I'm a PhD student from the Institute of Data Science of Maastricht University. I will talk about our research work of publishing medical context of neurological drug indication as a knowledge graph. This paper summarizes our work of conducting a semi-automatic approach to capture the drug indications with its medical context. Understanding the medical context of the therapeutic intervention is crucial to predict new drug indications and characterize lead compounds, as well as recommending the personalized therapy. However, this context information is not recorded in a machine-readable manner, so it will limit its use in query answering, clinical decision support, and computational drug discovery. The therapeutic intent of specific pharmacological agents should be readily available for physicians as well as the scientists to be used for the prescription and research. There have been some attempts to capture the medical context of the drug from the structured resources, but extracting the indications from the unstructured text using the natural language processing technology still faces some challenges in identifying disease mentioned in the text and standardizing the disease into standard terms in the ontologies. And also for the drug bank and the drug center, the structured resources such as these link the specific medical context upon which the indication is based on, and the indication in these resources are partly mined from the literature in an automatic fashion, so their quality is often inconsistent. And also for the drug repurposing, there is a need for an accurate representation of therapeutic intent with its medical context in a machine-interpretable manner to facilitate the reliable decision-making and drug repurposing. To address these issues, we proposed a semi-automatic annotation approach to capture drug indications and its medical context. Our approach involves firstly a pre-screen of relevant terms using the NLP tools, and secondly, we developed and used the NanoBench semantic templates to facilitate data curation with support for term auto-completion from vocabulary standards. We applied our method to create the NeuroDKG, the narrow pharmaceutical drugs knowledge graph, which contains a set of indications and their medical context related to nervous system drugs curated from the DailyMed pages. And next, we populated the curated data to the NeuroDKG using a user interface template within NanoBench. And this UI template will increase FAIR, the findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable principles sharing of such data as it supports the assignment of persistent and globally unique identifiers, and it's based on community standards. We conducted two annotation experiments to get our dataset. The first experiment is that we use some automatic tools to do the annotation. First, we searched for the neurological drugs using the Mathematical Therapeutic Chemical Classification System tree in the drug bank database. And then we identified the most commonly used drugs described by the paper, which provide a comprehensive review of the top 200 prescribed drugs which have the neurological associated drugs with drug labels in the US. And then we found the drug labels from the DailyMed. And next, we used the MedMap annotator to annotate the medical concept in the drug labels. The last, we used Bio-Portal annotator to extract relevant disease IDs. Annotation experiment. The two annotators manually annotated drug labels. Initially, annotators searched the drug labels and highlighted the contextual information. Some concepts were then annotated manually and their respective concept IDs as well as types were recorded. When all the annotations were finally collected, the annotation identified were recorded in an Excel file. Table 1 shows the concept certified from the annotations. We have the medical concept from the drug labels, and we have therapy type. It is type of treatment such as symptom relief, prevention, adjunctive therapy. And we have drug, the drug which belongs to the drug disease target group context. And we also have disease, the disease which belongs to the drug disease target group context. And we have the age range. The age range means the audience defined by a person's age. And the symptom defines a symptom that the target group presents, which is also treated by the drug of context. And the health condition specified the health conditions of a patient, medical study, or the other target audience. And for the annotator concept, the concept ID is the disease ID we found using the bioportal for the disease of the context. And the match type refers to whether the disease ID we found is an exact match to the disease stated in the drug label, or if the word is a little bit different, or if the disease name only partly matches the ID name. And the code entails the synthesis from the daily map that we scan to extract the data from the context form. The link is the disease or drug link we got from the daily map. After getting the drug and disease dataset, we created our ontology and knowledge graph. We created an ontology using the existing standard to capture the medical context of the drug indication, and we used the schema.org. Schema.org is a community-maintained vocabulary and use W3C semantic web standards. We use the following classes and properties from the schema. The classes, we have 5 classes and 4 subclasses. And for the properties, we generate 5 properties and 2 data properties. Figure 2 shows the ontology of our neurological. So here, for the medical indication class, it has 4 subclasses such it is symptom relief, treatment indication, prevention indication, and adjunctive therapy. And for the medical therapy class, it has the indication type relation with the medical indication. And also it has a drug indication with the drug classes. And it has the target population relation with the people audience. For the people audience, we can define the audience type by using the literal, and we can limit the audience. We can limit the age by using the integer. And also the people audience has a relationship of health condition with the medical condition. And the medical condition may have the possible treatment with the medical therapy. And also it has the sign or symptom relationship with the medical symptom. After get this ontology, we generate our knowledge graph by using the GraphDB. And next, we created our nanopublications. The nanopublications are a way to publish scientific findings in a machine-readable manner. It can be cited and verified. It can give the trusted URIs for the verification of the digital artifact, which is an important requirement for complying with fair data principles. And for the tools, we use the NanoBench. It can provide a web user interface to easily publish contextual statements. And the created NanoBench template for publishing the medical context of drug indications. The NanoBench template helps the authenticated annotator to find and use standard identifier to describe a drug or disease, and publish valid linked data following a predefined structure. Figure 3 is a screenshot of our NanoBench user interface. So for the medical therapy, it was developed from the Koto text. So we can add the Koto synthesis here. And next, we can specify where the Koto from it is. It means that we can add the URI to the source here. So for the next medical therapy, we can add the drug bank ID here to specify which drug have. And next, we can also add the disease using its DIL ID. It may have some possible treatment. And next, for the medical therapy, we can add the indication type for the medical therapy. And for the target palpitation, we can add the description of the target group in the type here. And also we can limit the age of the audience here by using the min age or max age. And also for the target group may have some health conditions, so we can define the condition for the target palpitation use its DIL ID. And next, we can define the condition for the target palpitation use the DIL ID, and it may have symptom in the target biomedical entity from the translator name resolution API. So this interface is really easy for the users to search for the target disease or drugs. And also this template was linked to the drug bank. So it can show the really comprehensive the medical context information. As a result, a total of 2,397 triples, 460 entities, 9 properties, and 9 classes are defined in the Neurological. The descriptive statistics of the knowledge graph were computed by the data-to-service CLI tool using the HCLS dataset description. And in the table 2, we can find that there is 101 cases of the drug had the drug relationship from the medical therapy. And in the 192 medical therapy subjects, only four medical conditions have the indication type relations. And also there is 59 people audience have the target population relations from the medical therapy. And next, in the 192 medical therapy objects, there is 75 medical conditions has the possible treatment. And for the next, in the medical condition subject, there is 28 medical symptoms have the sign or symptom. And the next, for the medical condition, there is 22 people audience had the health condition. In the discussion, we use the state-of-the-art tools to represent the drug indications and their associated context. The constructed ontology by building upon the schema vocabulary that encapsulate the relations among the disease, drugs, and the other contextual information, which provide the access to the high-quality machine-readable description of the drug indications and their medical context, is a key to downstream the computational uses. And also we created the web UI interface. We use the NanoBench template. It's based on this ontology, where the users can freely publish their own created drug indications as the nano publications. And it can cite the others nano publications. NanoBench interface incorporated the service such as the normalization to help the user to choose the right standard identifiers and create the structured data in the form of a knowledge graph. And also for the future work, the proposed data model may not capture the more complex medical context. In our cases, it requires an update in the current NanoBench template. However, this could be also an opportunity to develop the NanoBench template creation based on the schema or data model. And although we have applied our fair data principles such as assign global Unicode identifiers to the data and metadata and providing the data opening via an API, but the further assessment is needed to ensure that the NeuroDKG is fully file complete. This is all for our research paper. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions and comments, please feel free to contact me by the attached email. Next is a question session. Thank you so much.